Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you in another video. All right, so Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals is in the books. The Los Angeles Lakers are defeated 108-103 at Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado, against the Denver Nuggets, who take a 2-0 lead in the series. And that was a very, very, very humiliating game to sit through. It was humiliating because we had a lot of things work out in the first half, to the point where we had a 11-point lead, and then proceed to just not keep up the same energy. It's going to be hard to get through this video, you guys. I'm not going to lie to you. As a fan of this team, it's going to be hard to make this video because I've been going to bat for this team in regards to the disrespect that we've been receiving from Mike Malone, from KCP, from whoever else was talking on that side of the fence. I've been going to bat saying I'm having a hard time believing that the Denver Nuggets are a better team than us. Having a hard time believing that Anthony Davis is not going to have some effect on Jokic defensively. All of these different things that I've gone to bat for saying. And this team just doesn't come through tonight, man. They didn't back me up tonight. I backed them up. They didn't back me up. And now I come here with egg on my face, telling you guys that I still believe we're a better team than the Denver Nuggets, but they've won 2 different games 2 different ways, and that is a very, very bad sign. Somebody who's watched basketball his whole life, this is a terrible sign the way we lost this basketball game tonight. Because the adjustments that we made worked. We pretty much shot on average the way we want to shoot. We kept our turnovers okay, but Jamal Murray smoked us in the fourth quarter, and he's definitely going to be somebody that we talk a lot about. But let's get into these numbers, man. I really don't know where to start. I'm still kind of really frustrated, man. This one hurt a lot. Let's just get into it. So I'll talk about the guys who won the game first. That's what I often like to do. Get into the other team, give them their credit. But it doesn't feel good to do that tonight. Jamal Murray's the first player I'm going to mention here. 43 minutes of play, 37 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 steals, 3 turnovers of +8, 11 of 24, 6 of 14 from behind the arc, 9 out of 10 from the free throw line, and 4 offensive rebounds. Yeah, 4 offensive rebounds. Are we sure about that? I think I might have got that wrong. I think that's Jokic's rebounds, but I'm not certain about that. Not sure about his offensive rebounds, but those were his shooting numbers. He was absolutely spectacular. 23 minutes in the fourth quarter. The thing about Jamal Murray we got to understand is that is a real killer, a real one. There's a lot of guys who call themselves killers down the stretch of basketball games, stuff like that. Not many of them are as lethal as this guy actually is. One of the best playoff performers in the history of the sport, in my humble opinion. When you couple this particular night's performance with the last game he had, and you start thinking about some of the other performances he had, particularly against Donovan Mitchell, I'm a firm believer that Jamal Murray is one of the best playoff performers in the history of the sport. I am very much serious about that. Even though he has yet to accredit himself with a championship ring, I don't hold it against him based on where he's at in his career as a young person and how many times he's done the spectacular. And right now, his ratio in regards to playoff games versus being spectacular to my eyesight is absolutely absurd. He just always plays well. And the shots that he hit in the first game that we said, there's no way they're going to hit those shots again. Yes, he was, and I told you he would. So this guy could possibly kill us in this series. He could be the reason we don't win if we don't put Vanderbilt back on him. Now, when Vanderbilt was on him in this game, he held this dude to the complete opposite, basically. He was on this boy like skin. He wasn't getting nothing going when Vanderbilt was on him, but for whatever reason, Darvin took him off of him, and that's when he started doing what Jamal Murray does. And we didn't put him back on Jamal Murray, and Jamal Murray did what Jamal Murray did. So I think that was probably the decision that cost us the game. When you don't keep adequate defense on Jamal Murray for a full 48 minutes and you let him go off in the fourth quarter like we did, you're dead. It doesn't matter what's going on around that, you're gone, because he is not that type of guy that you can let get a rhythm in the fourth quarter of a game in a series where he's already smoking you. So it's going to be a lot of different things talked about. But I think that ultimately was the dagger for us, letting him run amok in the fourth quarter with just Dennis Schroeder chasing him, single coverage. I mean, that was just not going to work at all, and it was not something that we did all game. um, which makes it even more frustrating. We only did it at the end. We had that boy under control for a good 3 quarters. In fact, at one point he was 3 for 15 in the third quarter. So, you know what I'm saying? That type of decision will lose you the series. When you consider the zoom out of your whole series, you lost game 2, you can't lose game 2. That decision cost you game 2, that kind of thing. So it's like when you look back on this series, however it pans out, that was a terrible decision. Darvin Ham not keeping adequate defense on that man in game 2. Let's continue looking at the opponent's numbers. Of course, you got to get into the Joker. 23. First of all, his numbers are crazy. We're not going to sit up here and act like his numbers aren't absolutely insane. 23 points, 17 boards, 12 assists, 3 steals, 5 turnovers, plus 7, 9 of 21 from the field, 0 of 3 from behind the arc, 5 of 6 from the free throw line. 42 minutes of play. He dominated as usual. Nothing changes. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. In fact, it was a mild night, if you ask me, in regards to Jokic. Kind of mild. I think some of them shots that he missed, I'm sure he would love to have back. Some of those shots he missed, he's going to make. Some of those teardrops, stuff like that. A lot of shots went short for both teams, and I thought fatigue played a real part in this game on both sides. It's a lot of short shots shot in the first half, and a lot of heavy breathing and grabbing the shorts, I guess you could say, in the second half for both teams. So I think both teams are starting to feel the gas, and that's not good for us at all. Given the fact that we are an older team with 1 day's rest in between, and they got the benefit of their altitude to assure that they will definitely be returning back in the series since we lost these 2 games, unless they win the 2 on the road and sweep us, which at this point is possible given the 2 ways that we've lost these 2 games. You scored really, really high and lost, and you scored, moderately low with a good defensive performance where they didn't shoot as well and still lost. Bad sign, LA. Bad sign. So, it's looking real bleak right now to me, based on how we lost this particular matchup. But we keep looking at stats. Michael Porter, we had him under control in the first half because of foul trouble. And I told us in the halftime video we were not going to continue to benefit from that. We would need to put adequate defense on him, and he would be somebody we would have a hard time defending if we were going to adequately defend other people. He had a good second half, 16 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 turnovers, plus 1, 5 of 10 from the field, 4 of 7 from the 3, 2 of 2 from the free throw. His 3-point shooting efficiency was definitely a killer for us. Couldn't overcome it. Aaron Gordon, he had 39 minutes of play, 10 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 turnovers, plus 4, 5 of 9 from the field, 0 of 2 from the 3. 2 offensive rebounds. He still hasn't been able to hit that 3-point shot, which kind of helps us in theory, but we're losing these games where he's struggling. You know what I mean? This was a bad game for him for the most part, and he still walked away with a +4 and a win. It's like, you know what I'm saying? He was struggling throughout good portions of the third quarter, kind of as the announcers were telling us. He was kind of having issues and things of that nature, trying to find his footing. Looked a little out of sorts, but ultimately they can now adjust whatever made him feel that way, and he'll come out even better in the next game, and we didn't benefit from it at all. So let's keep looking. KCP, 26 minutes of play, 8 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 turnover, -9, 3 of 8 from the field, 2 of 5 from the 3, 2 offensive rebounds accredited to him. Keep it going. Bruce Brown, 37 minutes, 12 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. Did not turn the ball over, +16, 5 of 11 from the field, 2 of 4 from behind the arc. Why did we leave Bruce Brown open from behind the arc? We did not contest Bruce Brown? I think that's just a evaluation of talent. Anybody that told you you can leave Bruce Brown open from behind the arc lied to you. You can't leave him open, man. He's a shooter. There's 3 strengths that Bruce Brown has. He can drive at the rim, he can defend you on the perimeter, and he can shoot the 3. So how the hell are we leaving him open? Yeah, man, that's just wrong, bro. I don't know what the hell that was. And Bruce Brown, we already said, of course, Christian Brown played 5 minutes, didn't score, but did get a board in the -2. And then Reggie Jackson did get checked in and credited himself with an offensive rebound. And that does it for the Denver Nuggets, the team that won this evening's matchup. And for the Lakers, the team that didn't get the victory, we had some fantastic performances from some guys and some really struggling performances from others, and we'll get into the good guys first. First of all, I want to give all the credit to Rui Hachimura. He was absolutely phenomenal until the fourth quarter where he made some decisions that cost us really bad, but ultimately he was fantastic all night long and did not miss a shot for massive portions of this game. 30 minutes of play, 21 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 turnover, a -5 on the night, 1 offensive rebound accredited, 8 of 10 on the night from field, 1 of 2 from the 3, and 4 of 4 from the free throw line. So he was fantastic for us for the most part. I just want him to have a lot more court awareness in situations like that last play where he drove at the rim and got the offensive board. If he would have just scanned to the left of him, he would have saw a wide open shooter that he could have passed the rock to. We need that play back. And we need his IQ to increase in that regard so that he can help us as much as he's ultimately able to. Because you can make every shot you want to make, but if the last play is an offensive foul because you didn't make the extra pass, still lost, buddy. Still lost. So for all that we did right, there were still key things that we didn't do right. Anthony Davis, I love what he did from the free throw line. So that's where we'll start. We want to start with the good. 8 out of 11 from the free throw line. But he was 4 out of 15 from the field and 1 of 3 from the 3. Missed the corner 3 from the that probably would have tied the game up. We really would have loved to hit that shot. 18 points, 14 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, 4 blocks, 4 turnovers, -10. Not the greatest AD night at all. I thought the adjustments that Mike Malone did against Anthony Davis were really good. And we had trouble getting his offense going based on how we often try to get him attacking. That usually gets us struggling. When we get him the ball in corner situations and it kind of have him working in a slow pace, it usually doesn't work out. Half-court situations where we tell him to isolate, it rarely works out, man. So I think we need to re-examine some of the games that we've had where Anthony Davis has struggled with his offense and then weigh it against how we used him tonight, and I'm willing to bet we'll see there's similarities there. It's just the way that we approach trying to have him score, this formula often gives us this result. So I just want to say that because I was paying very close attention to it, and it just seems like Anthony was having a hard time getting in motions that really gave him successful plays. And a lot of the times he was shooting teardrops that were short as well. So I thought he was pretty good defensively. I thought he did really good things with the first half adjustments that we saw. He was really crisp. So I thought he was, for the most part, pretty good. But ultimately, it just wasn't an offensive AD night. And it was fine that it was going that way for a while, but we just couldn't sustain it for 4 quarters. Vanderbilt's the next name on the list. He had 17 minutes, 4 points, 2 rebounds, 0 turnovers, -10, 1 of 2 from the field, 0 of 0 from the 3, and 2 of 2 from the free throw line. Of course, Vanderbilt, you don't look at the stats for him. He was fantastic on Jamal Murray when we had him on him, and he was fantastic in other situations defensively as well. And I thought he was accredited with a steal too, but he wasn't accredited here in the stats. But nevertheless, Vanderbilt played better than the stats would tell you, and he should have been on the floor for probably 35 to 40 minutes tonight. Playing him 17 minutes in the series is stupid. I'm sorry, it just is. You need him, and you need him bad. Let's see who else played well. Austin Reeves, I thought he had a pretty good night, even though he wasn't overly efficient. He ultimately ended it off pretty good in the fourth quarter. 36 minutes of play, 22 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, 2 turnovers, a +13, 8 of 16 from the field, 50% there. 5 of 9 from the 3. You know, his shooting percentage was great. 1 of 1 from the field, free throw line. I needed more Austin Reeves shooting the ball tonight. I needed more actions with him involved, especially in the second half. They did a good job on him in the first half. I thought they had studied him well. Mike Malone, once again, the adjustment he made on Austin kept him out of the paint. Some of the things he likes to do to get in, win, stuff like that. They crowded him out and made those spaces closed for him. But ultimately, in the second half, I thought he was finding his footing against those defenders, getting in positions to get 3-point shots open for us, and we just didn't get to ball to him as much as probably we should have, given how much he was accredited with helping us score tonight. So let's keep it going. DS had 30 minutes tonight. We took him out of the starting lineup, of course, as we started Vando, but I thought he did okay. 4.6, 6 rebounds, no assists, 1 steal, 1 turnover, +5. So his efficiency was real bad in the first half, but I remember keying in on those rebounds, and at the time I felt like that was really, really important for him to have had 6 boards in that first half. Given the fact that we had so many problems rebounding the ball with him in the first game, he was a big part of the gang rebounding success that I was very pleased with that took place in that first half. But ultimately, we did not keep up those principles, and we didn't see anything else happen in that second half, as we could see. So Lonnie Walker had 13 minutes, 2 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, no turnovers, -3, 1 of 3. Maybe we could have used him a little more since he wasn't doing anything really wrong out there. I just felt like we kind of underutilized Lonnie a little bit, but I also think this is not really a series for him either, based on how we like to use him and how that can tend to leave us defensively at a disadvantage. 3-guard lineups I thought kind of help us, kind of put us in a little stagnant space in the second quarter, but we still had a big lead after that, so we got away with it just fine tonight. But ultimately, I'm leaving some guys out I ain't mentioned yet. There's a player or two that we've yet to mention. I don't know if I got to D'Lo yet. D'Lo had 33 minutes of play, 10 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, 1 turnover, -16, 3 of 8 from the field, 1 of 5 from the 3, 3 of 4 from the free throw line. The 1 of 5 from the 3 kind of hurt. We definitely want D'Lo's efficiency from behind the arc to return. He's only hit 1 3 in this series, and that is a problem, a real problem, because he ain't the only guy who's having trouble from behind the arc in this series. But I thought he did some pretty solid things, but that -16 is telling me it weren't solid enough. I love the fact he's continuing to get involved defensively. That's really where he shined tonight with the defensive stats. Since they want to say he's not a defensive player, he contributed to some defensive success. So that needs to be said. You give him his credit there. All right, LeBron James, man. See, LeBron James' numbers is better than what he actually played like. His numbers tell you he pretty much had a good game. 22 points in 40 minutes of play, 9 rebounds, 10 assists, 4 steals, 2 blocks, 3 turnovers, +4, 9 of 19 from the field, 4 of 4 from the free throw line, and 0 of 6 from behind the arc in the third quarter. My man LeBron James, we were only kind of down by 2. We were starting to find ourselves in situations where the pressure was tight. Jamal Murray was starting to find his footing. Porter didn't have foul trouble anymore. He was starting to find some shots going. KCP had hit some shots, and it was a situation where we needed to be very efficient right now because the game was starting to lean toward Denver. They were finding their way. They had made some adjustments. In the second half, they were starting to find a little bit of a groove, and all we really needed was everything to be absolutely high efficient. We had different things we were trying to run, and they weren't really working out, but we were still hanging close. And LeBron James decided he wanted to get his three-point shot going, and the more he shot it, the worse the score became, and he shot us out of the game. Not to mention that he missed 2 very, very uncharacteristic layups in the first half that really are going to signature just how awful he's been in this series thus far. That +4 doesn't tell the story, man. He really contributed a lot to the defensive stats, which is something we want to circle, and those 10 assists are also very nice. So we really like the good in what he did. But I would be lying to you if I didn't say he wasn't the sole reason why we lost this basketball game. It was his fault. And you know me, I'm often the guy that likes to blame the coach. Darvin should have kept Vando on Jamal Murray. But that wasn't where the momentum went left. The momentum went left when LeBron James decided that he was going to take it upon himself to shoot himself out of his slump in the middle of the damn second half of the second game of the Western Conference damn finals, when our guy hasn't made a single three-point shot in this series. We complained about him missing three-point shots in the last game, and he proceeded to come back and even do worse in this game. Now, mind you, we had a player on our team hadn't missed a damn shot at that time. We had him on the floor for a good 7 minutes of play in the second quarter, where we didn't even get him the ball, and he hadn't missed a shot. So that was already a prelude to the problems that we were going to see in the second half. I knew something was wrong. You go on a 7-minute scoring drought, and there you got a player on the floor that ain't missed. Something is terribly wrong with what you're doing. We were pushing the ball to AD, trying to force it to him. We were forcing the ball to LeBron James. They had a sequence where, if I'm not mistaken, I don't want to get this wrong, but one player didn't pass the ball to the next player from the three-point line. I think it was Dennis Schroeder. So Dennis Schroeder proceeded to shoot a bad 3 the next time because he didn't get a chance to shoot the 3 he wanted to shoot. I think it was off an offensive rebound or something. That type of sequence, when you do that against a Denver Nuggets team, that's why you lose. That type of stupidity gets you beat. Not working together, second-guessing one another, and then proceeding trying to make up for it. That type of dumb crap cost us this game as well. So again, I think the altitude had a lot to do with the fatigue. I think the fatigue probably played into some of the playing um, mistakes. I think mistakes were made because guys were tired. I also think LeBron James is going to be somebody that could miss game 3 because of the ankle roll that he faced at the end of the game. That he tried to play through. He rolled, it was a high ankle sprain, it looked like to me, but I'm no doctor, so don't take that for what it's worth. But he came down on it kind of funny, so I think it's a good chance he misses the next game, or is severely hampered. But honestly, bro, honest to God, he shouldn't have been on the floor as much tonight to begin with. He shouldn't have been on the floor to roll his ankle because of how poorly he had shot in the second quarter. That literally played into the momentum of the crowd. And that's another thing we have to understand about when LeBron decided he wanted to do this stupid crap. It was when the crowd started getting into the game because of things that their team was doing that got him into it. He was trying to silence the crowd, it seemed to me. And it just became a situation where he was just not accepting the fact that the 3 wouldn't fall, and he made all of us die with it, just like in game 1. It's like, bro, just because you can't accept that your 3 isn't falling doesn't mean that the rest of the team should be dying with you missing that shot. And I'm telling you, man, I don't want to overreact, but these are the type of things that just make you look at his finals record and see where he probably faltered in a lot of situations. It's like, bro, you can't play into the defense's hands, especially when the momentum is surging for the other team. This is the one time when we need you to do something right and you do something stupid. And then some of the turnovers, kicking the ball out of bounds. It's like, brother, you got to understand that you are not who you used to be. And because you're not who you used to be, you got to protect against some of those things that you're going to do now, trying to be that old guy. That loop around dunk that you love to do, you screwed it up. Those are 2 points we needed. We lost by 5. Those 2 layups, what are they now? What are they now? You see what I'm saying? And it's like, those are not the only 2 shots missed, but this is the king we're talking about. And then you're going to compare yourself to Michael Jordan? Damn it, these are the things that we're talking about in the second game of the Western freaking Conference Finals. LeBron James have to understand something. It's not that you can't shoot, bro. You're dealing with leg injuries and thigh injuries. Your muscles have been moved around by these injuries. However that goes, it's going to affect your shot. However that goes, with Father Time on top of that, it's going to affect your shot, bro. You haven't lost your mojo. It's a physical thing. You know what I'm saying? So for him, it's like he got to be able to not have his ego and his esteem attached to whether or not the 3 ball is falling. Because at the end of the day, it's not about whether or not you're making the right shots or making shots. It's about making the right play so your team can win, bro. So your team can win. It was something that was said on I don't know who said it. I think it was probably Jeff Van Gundy. But it's like, it's not about how you win. It's just that you win. You should be able to, he was talking about Vanderbilt, I think it was, or D'Lo, I don't remember who he was referring to. He was saying it doesn't matter, if what they're asking you to do, you should be willing to do it if it's going to cost you an opportunity to succeed. If it's going to be you sitting down or playing against a bigger guy or playing 40 minutes or whatever it is at this time of year, whatever it is, everyone should be on board with making the sacrifice necessary so that they can win around this time of year. And LeBron James is not willing to sacrifice his 3-point shooting. He's not willing to sacrifice that. There are other players who could have made that shot. Austin Reeves was 5 for 9 on the night. Rui Hachimura had only missed 2 shots, 1 from behind the arc. There are other people who could shoot that ball. You know what I'm saying? And this is the second game in this series in the same building in altitude where I can honestly say LeBron James cost us the freaking basketball game. The second game in a row. The same way. But his bad 3-point shooting. And even though this happened in the third quarter and it wasn't the only reason we lost, it is the only reason we lost, because at the end of the day, you got to know when he did it, what was happening while he was doing it, and it's just key moments in the game where you just don't do this. Anybody who's ever played a video game, this is like when your team gets on fire in a video game. If you ever played one of those games where they, like an arcade basketball game, and they hit 3 shots in a row, and all of a sudden you got the super, mojo going where you can, the ball, everything's falling. Now you can jump 10 times higher in the sky, that kind of thing. This is when he decided to shoot the 3, when they had that going. When they had their super strength. That's when he decided he wanted to start jacking up 3-point shots and ain't made one on the series. LeBron James in these 2 games has not made a single 3. He's 0 for 10. So it's like, bro, we're tied. We've been up. We're down 0-2. Why the hell are you making us live and die with an 0% shot? 0%? And the thing that bothers me is like, but I see how frustrated you get when D-Lo takes an uncontested shot when you had to trot your butt down there for no reason. I was applauding him for doing it because I always am happy when someone does it to you because you do it to us all season long. We all have to live with your 3-point shots that bricks and never gets rebounded. So it's a pleasure to see someone do it to you, LeBron. God's honest truth, bro. I think it was either DS or D-Lo. LeBron was trotting, running, hoping to get a receptor into the pass. And I think it was D-Lo just shot the 3-point shot. It bricked. And LeBron was like, And I'm like, you ain't got no business doing as many times you did that to us. As many times as the fans had to live and die with your bad shooting, including this same damn night. Nah, I was glad he did that to you. Did it to us too, unfortunately. Nobody needs to be doing that. That's the point. Anybody should look at that shot as a bad shot. You don't want any of your teammates running, sprinting down the floor in transition for no reason whatsoever. That's not what you want, especially in altitude, especially when they got injuries, especially when we got all this at this time of year, man. You know, guys are just not cognizant of the fullness of what's going on. You have 1 day's rest between everything. You got the possibility of injuries. Why the hell are we playing extra basketball? Why are we strategizing ourselves to put ourselves in a hole in game 1? We found something in game 2. Everybody was happy. Too much optimism. I told you, look what happened. We still lost game 2. It doesn't matter. Mike Malone was right. We didn't want to be down 0-1 no matter how the game goes. Every game is different. And this is altitude. You drop games. You take bad shots. You take good defenders off of good players. You don't come back from that. It's not an even playing field. They're high in the sky. It's mile high, baby. You're going to be tired there. So I don't want to speak too defeatist because I'm often overly pessimistic, but I've watched so much basketball. This ain't a good series for the Lakers right now. This ain't going well. It's going bad. Because at the end of the day, even if you win 2 games, it's still only 1 day's rest in between these games. So now you, at best, you win these 2 games at home, then you got to head back to altitude on 4 days rest. It's set up for us to fail, y'all. It's set up for us to fail. Dealing with this freaking altitude. And this is why I wanted the team to go up there early. This is exactly why I said, look, as soon as the damn series ends, you need to get y'all butts up to altitude to get used to it. And they lollygagged in LA for 48 hours. That was the mistake. Now look at them, missing layups, guys huffing and puffing. You couldn't deal with the altitude. That's the problem. This team ain't that much better than us. You couldn't deal with the altitude. That's the bottom line. I know what's going on there. Bron could not handle the damn altitude like he needed to in this series. His wind wasn't there. And that's really what went wrong here, in my humble opinion. Let's get into the team's numbers here so we can break down some things. First of all, quarter by quarter, we had a 27-point tie in the first quarter. And then had a 26-21 second quarter. So we were definitely happy to be up by 5 there. And then proceeded to have a quarter where we lost it by 2. So there wasn't nothing going wrong through 3 quarters. Things were going well. And then Jamal Murray happened in the fourth quarter. And they had a 32-24 quarter against us where they just mollywopped us with Jamal having 23 points in the fourth quarter, a bunch of 3-point shots. He was very, very spectacular, very, very worthy of a championship ring tonight. He's en route to getting one if we don't find a way to get Vanderbilt back on him. So that's what I saw tonight. I saw a virtuoso masterclass by Jamal Murray, and he's definitely getting the game ball from me. So let's look at the field goals and the free throws here. Let's see. First of all, 36 out of 32 there for us with 43% there. 39 out of 89 for them, 43%. We were 8 for 30 from behind the arc, 26.7%. They were 14 for 38 from behind the arc, 36%. That's all I have there. Free throw, 23 of 26. So we love how we shot the free throw. Obviously, that's fantastic percentage there. 16 of 18 for them. So I know they weren't pleased with that, but they still won the game. The rebounding differential was substantial. They won the rebounding total by 9, 49-40. Offensive rebounds, they killed us on offensive glass as usual. They had 11, we had 4. We still can't keep teams off the offensive glass. It's like the 7th game in a row where a team has killed us getting second chance rebounds. And the defensive, they got us there 36-38. Our assists, they got us 1 up there, 27-26. Steals, we got them 2 up there, 10 to their 8. Blocks, 7 to their 2. Turnovers, 12 to their 17. So we like that we kept our turnovers below theirs. Points off turnovers, we had 14, they had 21. So we like that we got 21 points off of their 17 turnovers. That's good stuff there. 21 to their 22 on the fast break, they 1-upped us. And 48 to 46 there, we 2-upped them in the points in the paint total. So, points in the paint is kind of steady. They had 50 in the last game, 46 in this one. So, it's, they're going strong, man. I don't know what to tell you. They took care of home court advantage. They took care of their home court. Now we got to go do the same. That's really what the story is. They did what they were supposed to do. They took care of their home court. I don't know, man. I just hate going to bat for people that don't show up, bro. That's how I feel, man. You speak on this channel, all kinds of passionate about your team. You want to back them up. You talk about the other team, say they ain't this, that, and this third. And at the end of the night, you just sit there and realize that everybody can talk back to you about everything you said about your team because your team ain't show up. You know what I'm saying? I got heart. I'm a killer. But hey, what the hell that's going to do? I'm wearing a white shirt. I ain't wearing yellow. So I can't help y'all, Laker Nation. We need AD and Bron to do that. You know what I'm saying? That's what it really comes down to. So I can talk all I want. I'm going to always back up the Lakers. I'm going to always be ready for a championship. You can wake me up at 4 in the morning, I'll be ready for a championship. But if you don't put the guys in the jersey that's ready to do what it takes or whatever the case, if they can't deliver when it matters most, then we just sitting here eating crow and the other fans' bases get to talk about how their team is better and mean it. And so that's just what it is, man. Their team is better and they get to mean it. And I get to sit here and be embarrassed. That's just what it's about. That's the truth. So I'm gonna do that. That's all there is to it, man. I don't know what else to tell people, man. I am down 0-2 in the series as a Laker fan. I'm not pleased about it. I am happy to be in the Western Conference Finals. I seized the moment. I know how close I am to an NBA championship. Still got 8 wins to go to get my championship, but unfortunately the opponent has 6. And they're a very good team, and they've beat us in 2 very, very different ways. And I could argue it's my superstar that ultimately played right into their hands. Yeah. Coach in the first game with the bad substitution stuff that he did to start the game, that did not help. Getting off to a staggeringly slow start in the first game didn't help. And in the fourth quarter here, just Jamal Murray has to be given all the credit in the world. He took this. You see LeBron James. I was on the record today saying that LeBron James is obviously a better player than Jamal Murray. Not tonight. Not on the day that I said that. Wow. So that's kind of how that goes for me, man. Every time I go to bat for this team, I end up like this. I end up like this. So I'm not going to be too pessimistic. We are happy to be in this situation. We are still in a position that a lot of teams would love to be in. We're headed back home. We did not have home court advantage, so there's always a chance that you lose on the road, but you do have to make sure you take care of your home. And so you give Denver their credit for doing that, but you do not get a series win for winning 2 games. So the Lakers and the Denver Nuggets still have a lot of work to do, and I thought the Lakers did some good things tonight, but ultimately more bad things tonight. Rui Hachimura and Austin Reeves definitely deserve kudos for how well they played. Vanderbilt on the defensive end as well as AD. Bron as well on the defensive end. I thought he played physical. I thought he played hard. I thought he played through injury. But at the end of the day, I just thought he was wrestling with his ego and he lost. And we lost with him. That 3-point shot is not something I want to invest in, man. I'm just going to tell y'all right now, I have no desire to put a single dollar on LeBron James 3-point shooting. No. Not a single dollar on that. And look, everybody else 3-point shooting was pretty bad tonight. Honestly, I don't see a whole lot of good there when you consider that we were 8 of 30, 26 from a high, 26%. 8 of 30 is too much for us when we're shooting that poorly. But 30, I guess, is the max for what you want to shoot in general for us. We really don't want to shoot above that unless we're shooting well. But when we're shooting poorly, we definitely don't want to shoot 26%. So, yeah, man, this day was a drag for me as a Laker fan. We've had some angry days, but this one is just embarrassing. This is embarrassing, man. I just want my team to have the ability that I believe they have. You know what I mean? And sometimes you believe your team is better than it is. Sometimes you're looking at the fullness of your roster and you're only going to use 8 people. And that's really what it is, man. Our 8 is not better than their 8. Our 16 is better than their 16, but if only 8 people are going to show up, we're getting outclassed. This is what it is. However it's playing out, this is what it is. Jokic has been better than AD, and Murray's been better than Bron. That's it. Game over. Let's move on to game 3. So that is kind of where I'm at, man. I don't know how much else I can give you guys. It's raw emotion. I'm a Laker fan who's sad about the loss and embarrassed about believing in a team that just ain't. You know what I'm saying? It's not. They're not that. Denver is better than I thought, and the Lakers aren't as good as I thought through 2 games. That's pretty much it. Video 44. I thank you all for watching. Out.